Welcome, Bitcoin fam, to the #1 Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin pumping back in the green, looking to retake 107. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest technical analysis. Also, Ricardo Salinas has recently been upgraded to the second richest man of Mexico, thanks to Bitcoin. Let's go. We'll also be discussing Michael Saylor teases a fresh Bitcoin buy after $1 billion stock offering. He also posted the infamous Saylor tracker, so you know what's coming by tomorrow. We'll also be discussing Tether CEO snubs IPO, says 515 billion valuation is it's a little bit bearish. We'll also be discussing analyst unveils new all-time high price target for this month, baby. Send it. We'll also be discussing the Bitcoin family revamps their security after the recent crypto crime wave. Also, Michael Saylor shares the most bullish speech of all time and ultimately says that anybody, including you, can make $100 million with Bitcoin, and he gives you the precise advice. I'll be breaking it down for you. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. Happy Sunday Fun Day, Famalam. Church is in session. JV here with the Nippinator. We'll be preaching the Holy Gospel of Satoshi for the next couple of hours. Hide your kids, especially from Peter Schiff. And hide your wives. I'm just saying. Welcome, everyone. Good to have you guys here with us today. Shout out Darth Melda in the building. Husker Daco, what it do? DNA Noonan, always an honor, brother. Welcome, everyone joining the live stream, tri-stream. Let me go ahead and pin the stream to the top of the X profile. Let me know if we're loud, clear, and smooth, and all is good in the Biddy neighborhood. And I appreciate that as well. It will be pinned in officially another second. You'll be able to find it on X. Abada boom, abada Bitcoin. Officially pinned. So again, all comments and quotes, you guys know the routine. I'll be able to repost during the live stream. This is how we hack the algorithm and orange pill the masses, like Michael Saylor with the orange tracker. So you already know. Hey, JV, watching happening outside. Oh, man, LA has been crazy. I must have seen like a dozen clips since yesterday. They're scary. Holy shit. Complete unlawfulness, I guess. They're just throwing rocks at the police, I saw. There were like a bunch of police vehicles, and this guy had rocks or bricks, and just every single police vehicle that went by, brick, broken, brick, broken, Britain. The guy just had like a motorcycle helmet on. They were doing nothing about it. It's insane. It sounds like martial law. Did Trump deploy the military? I don't even know what's going on. I don't really follow politics too closely, just whatever appears on my timeline, but definitely not a good look. I also saw footage of a helicopter supplying arms and ammo to people. And I'm like, is this like the government doing that? Like, why would the government allow a helicopter with all these? So it makes me think, is this like an inside, like what's really going on? Is this all big coup? You know what I mean? JV, you're on YouTube. Be careful what you say. Exactly. So we'll save that conversation for the uncensored version of the pod. But things aren't adding up right now. Loud and clear, I-94 between Chicago and Detroit. They're deporting a bunch of the Mexican people. I would assume that to be the case, considering, I don't know, the borders have been open for the past how many years? But yeah, I don't really know, so I'm not going to pretend I know what's going on over there. I just know it's not good. Definitely not a good look. I think it's time for the Bitcoin standard. We've had enough of the fiat standard, which perpetuates war, violence, and whatever's going on in LA this very moment. You know what I mean? Jay Powell is the new Gary Gensler. I don't know. I'm voting NIP for the new chair. Yes, the government is sending in more pepper balls. Oh, my God. So they're supplying these so-called illegals with the weapons. Am I wrong for thinking that? That's what some of the video footage showed me, and I'm just like scratching my head. But wouldn't be the first time, wouldn't it? So who knows? Gavin Newsom, get your shit together. You're making California look bad. Jesus, that's what I'm saying. Jesus. Happening right now, I'm watching it. Yeah, the world is falling, it seems, at least LA. Sad sight to see, for real. My prayers and best wishes go to everyone out there. The National Guard and the Marines were deployed to get the control of the situation. I would assume Trump made that call to do so.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right?
The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, JV.
The point is, if you have
Oh, okay. So the black helicopters I saw, they're supplying the National Guard, the police, and the Marines. Good, because I was a little confused there. I'm like, how is this even a thing?
the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura.
Let me know if you guys can see me on X, because it's a little strange, because typically by this time there'll be like a dozen reposts, but it's showing absolutely nothing besides a heart from myself, which is making me look bad. But I hope that's just an algorithm thing and it's not updating, but it's very odd. Typically it updates in real time. So just a reminder, if you haven't hit the repost, commented, or quoted, please do so. And I can start reposting everyone. That's typically what I do at the beginning of the show. I sip on the caffeine in the canteen, get it in the bloodstream, and then we play Michael Saylor and I start reposting everyone. There's absolutely no one to repost today. I was like, what's going on? And reminder, only dorks and losers short Bitcoin. I mean, this guy, he wasn't having much luck with long, so I guess he figured, oh, let me join the bears. And yeah, he's about to get liquidated, if not already, at 106.7. Not a good look. You can't short your dork. We can't afford that. What altcoin that actually does what it says is pumping right now? That's a great question. You tell me, brother. I have no idea. We'll be doing a market watch here in a moment. We'll be pulling it up. Lost in the Matrix, appreciate it, brother. Shout out Shane Wicks and Chris 181. Mad respect, brothers. Let's go. Happy Sunday fun day to the CNA fam. Shout out Tammy Hatcher. Now that you're here, the show goes on. I appreciate you tuning in. Forget new scum. Only Bukele could fix California. Now here's the ironic part of that equation. He genuinely could fix California if the people in charge wanted it fixed. You guys do understand that everything is the way it is by design, including what's going on with the rioting in California. If Bukele, this is a great example, if he could transform what was once considered the most dangerous country in the world, the homicide capital of the world, into the safest place in the world, it goes to show you that anything is possible if smart people put their minds together. But unfortunately, we have compromised assholes ruling the world. And they put these people in positions of power, and typically they're controlled by blackmail. And so they got them by the balls, and they force them or tell them, command them to do whatever their bidding is, which is typically satanic. And if they don't, who knows? You may end up with Diddy in a jail cell, is all I'm saying. The world is controlled by blackmail. That's what this, Gilligan's Island client list has really showed us. They're never going to release anything. And it's a sick satanic world running the world show. I don't know. I'm pretty convinced at this point, at least. Michael Saylor said on CNBC, Friday was fire. He dropped the new going up forever, Laura. The Bitcoin smash and everything, Joe. He's the GOAT. He absolutely is definitely the new age GOAT. But the true GOAT is Max Kaiser, Bitcoin OG circa 2010, Stacy Herbert, talking about Bitcoin internationally when it was 23 cents. Saylor, I mean, he's great and all, but he didn't come on board till 2020. He's a late comer, but doing fantastic considering how late in the game he came in. He came, he soared, he conquered. Like a young Napoleon, that Saylor. Happy Sunday, Darth Melda. I had a party to go to yesterday at the church, but I did watch the pod last night at 10. And I appreciate that. And for those that don't know, every evening at 10 p.m. we premiere the show. We condense it from the 2-hour live stream, which you're witnessing right now, into 30 minutes of pure content. And that premieres every evening on the YouTube channel. Now we're finally starting to see reposts and comments. I don't know what was up earlier, but I appreciate you guys. Shout out Chris181, just reposted you. JC, make sure you're following this account. JC Ice, our very own Oracle. She put no pepper spray in the chat here. You damn right. Much love. Sunday fun day. Come hang, see what's happening. And crack-a-lackin' with the Nippinator. Come watch the weekly news. JB, CNA Van, Ronan Crash. Much appreciated, brother. And, of course, shout out Fax and the rest of the family. You're never too late for Bitcoin, correct? And we all pay the price we deserve. I'm sure you've heard that one before. This is the infamous, oh, shit. I hate when that happens, when you have what you want to see on X and then it updates and it moves and But anyways, I was about to share with you something, but I'll share it with you guys later. You just got to wait. But yeah, Michael Saylor was recently interviewed by Natalie Brunell on Coin Stories podcast. And Natalie asked, how can the average person get a 100x return? And Saylor shares the blueprint on how to get to $100 million realistically within the next 2 decades. And I want to share that with you. It's actually our feature story of the day. I love stories like that because even the little guy has a credible shot at becoming wealthy for the generations to come, stacking the biddies now. We're still early in the grand scheme of things. I do genuinely believe that. Wall Street biddy, goat for sure. There you go. Saylor's the corporate goat. Kaiser and Stacy are the cypherpunk OG Bitcoin goats. The goats of all goats. I'm just saying.
Take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin. Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go
sage advice here. What do we do, Michael?
mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business, it's in your family for 37 years.
Yeah, I've had this business for 37 years. My family loves it. What do I do, Michael? What do I do?
And you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth, which is Bitcoin.
Fair play, fair play. And speaking of fair play, shout out to the fairground, keeping it fair. Natalie B doing fantastic work. Yeah, shout out Natalie. I'm a fan. I like coin stories. I'm not a big fan of many other Bitcoin podcasts, but that's definitely a great pod. I highly recommend. Natalie Rip Schiff in Vegas. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Natalie's doing God's work for us all. I like to see that. And hopefully that man does not get invited to another Bitcoin conference. Like, it didn't make sense to me how he got invited in the first place, considering he's been making fun of Bitcoiners and Bitcoin religiously and trolling us every fucking day, at least since I entered the space in 2017. And I'm sure he was doing it a cycle before that as well, because Max is the one who told him to buy Bitcoin back when it was $1. And ironic enough, he's speaking at events. Like, why do we give that man a microphone and a platform? And now, especially with the more recent development of him openly admitting in his own words, he has since deleted the tweet, which was a smart move there, but too late, damage done, Peter. It's never a good look if you're going to brag about sleeping with underage girls or stick up for someone like Epstein and try to justify that behavior. It's just a sick, disgusting, creepy look. So hide your kids. I couldn't have said it better than that. Hide your kids, hide your wives around Peter, and hopefully that guy doesn't get invited to the next conference. Shit, not a good look, Peter. He was invited so that Natalie can rip him to shreds. It was funny as hell. Well, I gotta watch that Natalie clip. Shout out Natalie Brunell. Whether or not 100x is possible does not matter to me. What matters is that one of these days, pre-low bidding of the global currency accepted everywhere by everyone. Can I get an amen? Can I get a gong strike, Greg? Exactly. JV, did Peter speak at the conference? No, he did. He had a session. He did a session with two other people where they asked him questions. And he had the audacity to throw Max under the bus and give him zero credit for sharing Bitcoin with him. It's like, oh, Max wants to take the credit for sharing Bitcoin with me. No. I mean, the guy is an egomaniac. He's also taking the credit for orange pilling more people than anyone else at the conference. Like, this guy is in a fantasy world, stroking his own ego. You can't make the shit up. I watched it. I was in fucking disbelief. Like, I was in disbelief. I'd be like, I'd throw tomatoes and get this guy off stage immediately. But people are like, ew, it's Peter Schiff, the gold guy. I guess Peter don't realize half the people are there are laughing at him and making fun of him. But again, his ego is so big, anything to stroke the ego. He's like, oh yeah, I'm the gold guy. I've been telling you guys not to buy Bitcoin for the past 10 years. And guess what? No one listened to me. And so I'm single-handedly responsible for orange pilling more people than anyone in the existence of Bitcoin. I'm your savior. Like, go fuck yourself, Peter. Go fuck yourself. Who got the Bitcoin swag? It is a Sunday. I got to be chill today. It's Sunday fun day. I am preaching the holy gospel of Satoshi. Let's leave Peter out of this. But let me know if you got a Bitcoin swag. We're about to kick it off. One more sip of the caffeine for the bloodstream, and game on.
So chillin' hot with my Bitcoin.
You feel that?
Swagger from the bitty stack. It goes up, up, up. Bitcoin goes.
It goes doing, doing, doing.
It's a thrill ride.
Bitcoin ready to bust out of that firmament. Shifty is backpedaling. The gold bug admitted in the interview about a year ago he did not hold physical gold. I know, he only holds derivatives, paper, and foreign gold stocks, not even any United States gold exposure. I was in shock there. I figured this guy must be one of the largest gold hoarders in the world. Little to find out, he hoards zero fucking gold. He is a hypocrite. Yeah, I mean, that's all. I'll leave it at that. But anyways, welcome everyone. Let's get this mofo started. We got over 500 people on the stream. Let's kick it off. If you're new to the channel, very important, smash the like, subscribe. We're the #1 Bitcoin pod. Then ring the bell. That way you get notified each and every day when I go live. Today is pod number 2016. I'm your host, JV. That's my co-host, Nipinator, former chairman of the SEC. Today is June 8th, 2025. Happy 420 broskies. And yeah, pretty little bitty back in the green. So let's break her down. And again, welcome everyone. Join the live stream. Let's kick it off with our market watch as we do each and every day. Good to see everything back in the green. Bitcoin hovering above 1066 at the time of the live stream. Even Ether back above 25 hundo. Even XRP got a warm piece of the sidewalk, up 5% on the day. And Zeus up 9%. I don't even know what coin Zeus is, but I know it's a Greek god. Correct me if I'm wrong there. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com. The current crypto market cap back on the climb, 3.32 trillion, 2.1 trillion for the bitty market cap. As far as volume is concerned, 84.19 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours, down 0.6% on the day. Bitcoin dominance was back on the climb this week. It's a bit down today, 63.6%. Ether dominance, 9.2%. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. We got SPX up 12%, followed by ICP, and I ain't talking about the insane clown posse, up 8.5%, followed by Radium, up 5%. Let me know which alts, if any, you're bullish on for the bull holla at your Nipinator. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. I expect all this to light up like a Christmas tree, and lo and behold, we got a Christmas tree right on your screen. 95%, at least 90% of the market in the green on the day. And zooming out for the weekly. The weekly shows us not as advantageous as the daily. I'd say 70-30 red over green. And zooming out for the monthly, not looking so great overall for the alts here. I'd say maybe 80-20 red over green. And zooming out for the year to get a broad annual perspective, the bulk of the market definitely in the red. So alts haven't been doing so well this alleged alt season. I don't think we've had an alt season. So there you have it. Let me know if we will witness some form of an alt season this year. And checking out the infamous Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Today we're 62 greed. Yesterday 52. Last week 56. And last month 73. And checking out the infamous time chain calendar. 2 days ago, we crossed the 900,000 block milestone. Today, it's 900,354. We have 149,646 blocks until the halving of 2028. And as of today, June 8th, 2025, you can exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 941 sats. So you know what to do, broskies. Pick up the sats, put down the gats, and pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at BitcoinCaps.net. And cop yourself an exclusive CNA cap. Just saying. Why y'all need the third parties? Then I think the CAW is funny. Crow whiff knife. Right on. Hit the likes, folks. Thanks for the reminder there. Fairground plus the Lightning Network only does a few hundred TPSs, says Adam. Bitcoin can and is a peer-to-peer exchange. No middleman. The only thing the recipient needs is fiat for the off-ramp. JV, what is that white token? I'm not sure what you mean when you say white token, brother. Yes, Peter did speak at the Bitcoin conference in Vegas. He delivered a presentation and participated on a fireside chat where he reiterated his criticisms of Bitcoin. To me, that's like, it's like spitting in everyone's face. Like, do we really need to parade and celebrate this man at this point? We might as well bring Jim Cramer to the next event and Gareth Soloway, who told everyone to short Bitcoin. Let's fucking invite Dan Pena as a featured billionaire guest and let him preach of why Bitcoin's ran by Putin and it's going to go to zero and that the secret birdies have whispered it in his ear and he believes that. Why don't we preach that at the next conference? Calling it a meme coin, suggesting it's a form of wealth transfer rather than value creation. He also joked about the irony of attendees potentially buying more Bitcoin after hearing his negative. Like I said, he was stroking his own ego. Let's all agree that he is not the #1 orange pillar in the Bitcoin community. can we all agree that would be like Max Kaiser and Stacey Herbert? Or in the new modern age, maybe Michael Saylor on a corporate level with institutions. Bitcoin maxis are diluted with the ability of Bitcoin technology, says Adam. Well, we understand the technology. Good, you're still here on the tube. For the time being, they flagged 30 plus videos, removed the majority of them, and my channel can disappear at any moment. So do note that and make sure you follow me on X and Rumble. I don't trust the YouTube or the lizard folk that run it. At least Kramer isn't a pedo. Maybe he is. I don't know. We haven't seen the Epstein client list, to be quite honest. So I'm not going to separate him from the pack. I mean, he runs in the same circles, is all I'm saying. Altcoin is Solana, Sui, Ondo, Avalanche, Tau, Aptos, Tons, Near, SPX, Supra, Arweave, Link, and Render. Appreciate you sharing, P. Kramer said he owns some Bitcoin. Well, he's definitely one of the biggest Bitcoin fudders for the lizard folk, that's for sure. What up, fam? What up, Mr. Corvette? The network, even with the lightning, is way too slow. Well, I don't think the network is too slow. I think the network is perfect the way it is, and that's why it's the perfect store value. That's why it's the number one cryptocurrency. That's why it has a market dominance of over 60%. And that's why the United States signed an executive order to stockpile it. That's why Nayib Bukele adopted a Bitcoin strategic reserve and made it legal tender. And that's why none of these other coins have achieved that. Just want to throw out the obvious if we're going to try to throw the biddy under the bus. That's right, Greg. Bitcoin is unstoppable. Unstoppable. Too slow for the mass adoption. I don't know about all that because layer twos, if you want to use layer twos, aren't they instantaneous for payments? Lightning Network, an example, when I went to El Salvador, I did a payment instantly within a couple of seconds. It transferred the funds, bada boom, bada bing, transaction complete. So layer twos solve that to use Bitcoin as a payment solution, whereas the core network, maybe it takes 10 or 20 minutes for the transaction to finalize. But with Bitcoin, the transaction is the settlement. So take that, legacy payment rails, Visa, MasterCard, and who else we got there? Amex. You can't short your dork. We can't afford that. Everyone needs to watch the 7-minute clip from Friday morning with Saylor on CNBC. It was fire. Excellent. Appreciate the heads up, Ricardo. We are going to be discussing a lot about Michael Saylor today and some of the insights in which he recently shared. And of course, he just updated us. Expect another massive $1 billion purchase for tomorrow. He did post the Saylor tracker, and every time he does that on a Sunday, it's a precursor. Big announcement coming tomorrow. But anyways, let's continue with the news. We do got a lot to share. Next up, we'll be discussing some very bullish targets, and we'll pull up some of the live charts, do a little analysis. Headline reads, Bitcoin can liquidate 15 billion in shorts. You can't short your dork. We can't afford that. With a 10% Bitcoin price uptick, and again, happy 420 for the broskies. Here we're looking at a 1-hour chart. We'll be pulling up the live chart here in a minute. But anyways, TradingView showed Bitcoin cementing its rebound after a trip to 100,500 on June 5th, which was the local bottom. The silver lining there is 100,000 held up, and that's a major psychological support. So that's a good sign. Now almost back at its weekly open level. Bitcoin again inspired traders to bet on upside continuation. Quoting Rec Capital on the daily time frame, Bitcoin showcasing signs of breaking the 2-week downtrend while also turning it into support earlier today. Daily closing and retesting 106.6 as outlined in the chart in the black would be even better to enable the trend continuation. Now, Bitcoin price action had already achieved the daily close above the 10-day simple moving average, something that fellow trader Super Bro had said was the prerequisite for the invalidation of the bear case. So shout out to the Super Bro. Now, also another trader, meanwhile, looked at the order book liquidity for cues over the price direction. This was building both above and below the spot price, just like water above and below. Just saying. Bitcoin liquidation clusters now signaling an upside move. If Bitcoin pumps 10% from here, 15 billion in shorts will get liquidated. Meanwhile, a 10% downside move will liquidate almost 10 billion in long. So either way, market makers looking to liquidate these mofos. Now, also they shared, I think, Bitcoin, big move coming next week, possibly pushing it above 110. Current all-time high was 112, achieved May 22nd, a couple of weeks back, and we do get a new weekly close here shortly. Now, updating followers, Crypto Nuevo shared he's building Bitcoin long positions at 100,000, or outlined it in the market. 100,000's the strongest psychological support, what I mentioned earlier. It is the area where I'm building some longs with easy invalidation below it. Now, Rec Capital, meanwhile, described the support retest after May's all-time highs on the weekly time frame as successful, as outlined here. Can Bitcoin successfully confirm this retest with a weekly close above 104.4? And it looks like we're absolutely going to close above that as we're approaching 107 here, and we do get the weekly close in about an hour, hour and a half during the live stream. Now, Max Geyser shared this in response to Mexico's third richest man, Uncle Ricky, holding 80% of his wealth in Bitcoin. I think he upped it from 75%, and I think soon it's going to be 100%. It is the greatest performer in his portfolio. I've listened to quite a lot of Uncle Ricky's speeches, and I got mad respect for the man. Heck, I dare say he may even already be the #1 richest man in Mexico, because when he gave him this tagline of the third richest man in Mexico, this was like 5-6 years ago, and Bitcoin is up like, I don't know, 5 to 10x since then. So who knows? He could be the #1 most wealthiest man in Mexico at this point. Bitcoiners taking over the planet. And that's all I'm saying. But let's also check out some of the live charts. We'll do a little live chart action. Jackson Satisfaction, Bo Jackson for the broskies. And then we'll get back to the chat. Give me a second to switch out the chat from the Rumble to the YouTube. There we go. That way you guys can interact here. And if you guys don't know, this is a live and interactive show. If you want to participate in the chat, you see on your screen, the direct link is, what is it? Shit, I always forget. Oh, cryptonewsalerts.net. That's the direct link to the YouTube channel in which the commenting is coming from. But here on the 1 hour chart, you can see we do got the rising wedgie. We've had a hell of a lot of momentum since hitting that 100,000 bottom just the other day. And we are continuing to rise. Again, we're above 106. Where are we at? 106. Let me move the cursor. 106,343 at the time of the live stream. And zooming out from the hourly, we'll take a look at the 4 hour, work our way backwards. And the 4 hour shows we also have the rising wedge. We do have a bear target on the screen sitting all the way down at around 99, 100. Nope, 101.2. Now, again, we did hit 101.5 just a few days ago, and that's the local bottom, but we shot right back up like Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. The wonderful thing about Bitcoin is Bitcoin the wonderful thing. That's all I'm saying. And zooming out from the 4 hour thing, and I'll look at a daily. I think the caffeine's kicking in. Excellent. Okay, on the daily chart, no particular bull targets here, but we did have 3 consecutive days of bullish momentum, which is a good sign. Checking out the weekly, and like I said, the line in the sand is like 104. We're nowhere near that, so we should close extremely bullish for the new week, which means new all-time highs in play. We're less than 6,000 away from price discovery, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 7 green consecutive weekly candle closes, the most since the inception of Bitcoin, but we did get a corrective week last week, and it looks like this week we'll barely close in the green here shortly, which is awesome. We still also have the sexy cup and handle target sitting at 124,000 on the weekly chart. And checking out the monthly, April and May we're in the green, and already June forming in the green, though it's very early here in the month. But you let me know where you feel the pretty little bitty. Likely take us next, and I'll read your comments out loud. And again, welcome everyone to the live stream. It's called the V-shaped recovery. V for victory and a V for vendetta. What caused Bitcoin to drop so rapidly, so quickly, still puzzles me. Oh well, enter the volatility. Give us them all-time high in this bitch. Just like pumping the disclaimer for the slow people. You got to do what you got to do. Monzo, if something catastrophic happens, Bitcoin going down will be the least of my concerns. Living the bitty dream. Actually living the bitty. Shout out Abel. Living it up. Good evening, Sunday. Shout out Darth Meldo, the one and only. Josh W. with the dub. Good morning, broski. Good afternoon, good evening, depending upon what part of the world you're living on. Welcome to the live stream, try stream, up to 700 people. Let me know if you got a Bitcoin swag.
A stack deck built so right. Gonna bust out of the firmament. Beyond the water-filled sky.
Trust this, don't wear a nail on your forehead with an opportunity miss. Bitcoin thrust, fiat rust, stamp your future and still
keep it with swagger, securing Superman, real B is Satoshi level, trump card holding kinda killer.
with W's and M's for the orange pill, set for making millions.
I got that Bitcoin swagger.
Shout out Chandy10 on the ones and twos. Make sure you're following her exclusively on X. Her username, Chandy10 Music. Greg, purely market manipulation. They can move the price 3,000 to 4,000, liquidate idiots, playing with huge leverage. It does seem to be this way. It definitely does seem to be this way. Half an hour until the futures markets open, 3.5 hours until Asia opens. Appreciate the insight, the cool news. We'll be live during it. So excellent. And again, welcome everyone just joining the live stream. We're up to 800 people on the TriStream live stream. JV and Nippinator preaching the holy gospel of Satoshi. We just did the TA. Next up, we'll be getting through the headlines. And I think our next story is regarding Saylor. Posted the Saylor tracker again, and most likely going to be announcing $1 billion plus acquisition tomorrow, as he's been doing. Yes, high frequency algo bots wash trading across all the exchanges, hunting down the loose stop losses on the highly leveraged positions. And this is why we do not trade with 40x leverage like James wins or win. That would be a great example of what not to do, because when the market goes up or down, let's say $2,000, you get liquidated of the entire position. So it's a very bold move. If you have some sort of a crystal magic Nostradamus crystal ball that you can look into, or if you could channel the spirit of Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet, maybe, and yet you know with 100% certainty by looking into the crystal ball or channeling Edgar Casey or Nostradamus, you know with 100% certainty it's only going up and it's not going to drop at all, then by all means, do a 40x leverage trade, 100x, do what you got to do. But if you can't see into the future, I would not advise it, is all I'm saying. Shout out Ricardo Manzo, what up? 2 Corinthians 9:7, each of you should give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Can I get an amen? I appreciate the Bible quote there, Tammy. Definitely a good day for some Bitcoin. Shout out Julie Key Largo. It's good to have you here. And I always appreciate the biblical quotes, and especially on a Sunday. I think we need to be preaching the word of God more often, and I love incorporating it into the podcast, so greatly appreciate that. You guys keep the comments coming, and I'm going to keep running through the news here for you guys. Next story, you should be able to see the headline here in a second on my screen. As it reads, Michael Saylor teases fresh Bitcoin buy after the recent $1 billion stock offering. That's right, the Giga Chad for the win. Strategy co-founder, executive chair Mikey Saylor posted a chart of the company's Bitcoin holdings June 8th, which was earlier today, signaling a possible upcoming acquisition. On June 8th, Saylor posted, "Send me more orange." Saylor's cryptic posts, definitely not cryptic, are often followed by announcements and new Bitcoin purchases. If Strategy follows up with a post with another Bitcoin buy, it will mark the 9th consecutive week of Bitcoin purchases for Strategy B. The post comes shortly after the company purchased an additional 705 Bitcoin between May 26th and June 1st for just a simple 75 million at an average price of 106,000 per bitty, bringing the company's total Bitcoin holdings to 580,955 BTC, currently valued at 61 billion. It brings back memories because in 2020, I believe Strategy was only worth about $400 million. And Saylor was puzzled on, how do I keep this melting ice cube from melting, referring to his fiat at the bank. And then he discovered, well, we can adopt a Bitcoin treasury play and put it into Bitcoin. And lo and behold, now his company is worth an insane amount. I think it's over 60 billion. Correct me if I'm wrong. Data from Saylor Tracker shows the company is up approximately 50% on the investment, amounting to around 20 billion, just an unrealized profit. So his market cap went from being worth like 400 million in 2020 to 20 billion just in unrealized profit, which is mind-boggling. And here's the Strategy history: a Bitcoin acquisition every single time they made a massive purchase. Now, Saylor's post follows Strategy's announcement we recently shared of $1 billion stock offering, quadrupling the previous $250 million raise. So he's like, yeah, we'll just 4x it. The company said it'll use the proceeds to fund additional Bitcoin purchases and general corporate expenses. The offering involves 11 million shares of the 10% Series A perpetual stride preferred stock price at $85 per share. Strategy experts to raise about $979 million after expenses from underwriting. And unlike its past funding methods, the preferred stock offers non-cumulative dividends of 10%. This appeals to the institutional and professional investors who are after the yield. It aims to offer more predictable investor returns while the company continues to pursue its aggressive Bitcoin accumulation strategy. My question for all of you, how many of you have any type of exposure to strategy stock or any of the, STRK, ST, MSTY, MS, any of them? Do let me know. Bitcoin Treasury data shows the company holdings make it the single largest Bitcoin holder by far, eclipsing amount of Bitcoin held by the US and China combined. You really need to get your shit together, USA. Trump, put your foot on the gas already. Strategy holdings also nearly 12 times bigger than the second largest Bitcoin holder, which is Marathon Holdings, the Bitcoin miner. Also, Strategy had become closely associated with Bitcoin. With many investors seeing the company as a corporate wrapper for Bitcoin exposure. And I think that's precisely what Strategy is. It's a corporate wrapper to get long 2x leverage on Bitcoin, which ultimately means as long as Bitcoin performs well, then strategy stock should perform a little better. However, keep in mind, Bitcoin's extremely volatile. I think we can all agree on that. So if Bitcoin's extremely volatile, that would make any stock based on Bitcoin that much more volatile. So do take note of that. Also, a big difference between owning the underlying asset and having exposure to it, there's a big difference. Right? If shit were to hit the fan, you don't own that Bitcoin at the end of the day if you have exposure to it through a wrapper. Only if you hold it in properly stored self-custody can you really say I own the private keys. So we would still definitely encourage people to stack Bitcoin. Some people prefer doing it through a stock. That's your prerogative. Some people like, to do whatever they want to do, and that's perfectly cool as well. I just don't want you to get confused. Owning Bitcoin, the underlying asset, will always be superior to having any leverage play or wrapper of Bitcoin. The wrapper of Bitcoin may be for those that are looking to make some form of a yield or create some form of an income off of Bitcoin or having indirect exposure to Bitcoin versus just storing and hodling the underlying assets. So with that being shared, I wonder if he gives the maintenance guy a quarterly bonus in Bitcoin. For some reason, I'm going to say yeah. I don't know the answer, but I'm going to say yeah. Bitcoin is now in the top 6 global asset classes, ranks, nations, empires, countries, sovereign wealth funds, Wall Street, treasuries, corps, retail, you, me, Nippinator, more interest than ever before. When Wall Street figures out at the end of June, when Bitcoin closes over 96, the new accounting allows them to count their Bitcoin holdings and gains. It's going to explode. MSTR bag, go brr. How many wallets do you think Strategy holds their Bitcoin? I highly doubt it's one wallet. I would assume it's numerous wallets. And I think to gain the answer, Arcam Intelligence already traced back 97% of all of Strategy's Bitcoin, so they would know the answer to that. I didn't deep dive into that, so I'm not sure personally. I stick with Bitcoin like Michael, but I like the biddy. Have both Bitcoin and cold storage first and MSTR and MSTY. Right on. That's the Q question for either Michael or Arcam. Exactly. I saw some 18-minute video earlier that even 0.01 Bitcoin will be great for the future. Even Michael Saylor has said that can set you free if you hold it long enough. Correct. The question is, are you willing to hodl your 0.1 Bitcoin or 0.01 Bitcoin for the next couple of decades for it to be massively significant? Think of it that way. And again, welcome everyone driving. Shout out Bring Facts for holding it down. We're up to 900 people on the live stream, tri-stream. We just discussed the latest with Michael Saylor, posting of the Saylor tracker. Why does it always go up when I'm driving when JV is on? That's because the pretty little bitty's going up forever, Laura. Simple and plain. Study Bitcoin. Couldn't have said it better, Sergio. A lot of people really don't know what they don't know. Unless you put in your 10,000 hours, it's safe to say you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't know, do the math. 444 por favor. And study the Bitcoin some more. Stack the sats. We're stacking the bitty. No diddy. Especially not on a Sunday. That's blasphemous. But yeah, again, welcome everyone. Let me know who got that Bitcoin swag.
You got that Bitcoin swagger. We got that Bitcoin swagger.
Stacking sats, feeling bad, looking sharper than a dagger. Be an Arkansas gem with diamond hands tough.
Got no kryptonite, just orange bitty light. Paper gets wrinkled, crinkled.
Texas, Montana, Missouri, New York, Florida, Puerto Rico, El Salvador.
You already know.
Swagger holding with an orange glow.
Prodigy, swagger hot.
Reserve to preserve, strategy for prosperity.
You feel that? That's Bitcoin swagger, baby.
Walking like.
Let me know if you got a Bitcoin swag. They not like us. Oh, hodl by thy name. Exactly. Hodl be thy name. Well said. Well said. But all right. Next story, we discussed the latest with the Michael Saylor, and our feature story is going to be, he was recently interviewed by Natalie Brunell on Coin Stories, and he discusses how to 100x your money for an ordinary individual. We're going to be discussing that, how to potentially have a $100 million Bitcoin position. I'll be breaking that down for you. But first, we got to cover the rest of the news. Tether CEO snubs IPO, says 515 billion valuation. That's a bit bearish. Tether's been crushing it. I mean, I think that's because more recently Circle went live, or public, I should say. And so I guess they're entertaining what would Tether be worth if they launched, an IPO. So pretty wild. That's $500 billion, and that's bearish. So yeah, Tether CEO Paolo says the stablecoin issuer has no intention of going public. They're going to remain private, and I think that's personally a smart idea. He says no need to go public, and that's 2 days after Circle, which just went public. They own the stablecoin USDC, entered the public market. Circle shares climbed 167% on the first trading session on the NYSE. Now, Paolo addressed valuation speculation raised by Artemisys CEO John Ma, who claimed that if Tether, which is behind the stablecoin USDT, well, it is, not if it is, were to go public, it would rank as the 19th largest company globally with a valuation of $515 billion, larger than the multinational giants like Costco and Coca-Cola. I repeat, if Tether USDT were to go public, their valuation would already be bigger than Costco and Coca-Cola, which is mind-boggling. Paolo called the 515 billion valuation a beautiful number. He said it might be actually too low. And he's probably not kidding. Maybe a bit bearish considering our current increasing Bitcoin plus gold treasury. Yet he says, I'm very humbled. Prominent Bitcoin advocates Pompliano and Jack Mallers and all my Bitcoin ballers both suggested the company could one day reach $1 trillion valuation. I think it's a given, especially with how much Bitcoin they have on the balance sheet. I mean, Bitcoin's just got to double and it's already there. But quoting John Ma here, if Tether went public today, Tether would be the 19th largest company in the world at a 515 billion valuation. That's ahead of Costco and Coca-Cola. Here's why. Circle is now public with a 30 billion market cap. Our financial model has Circle at 410 billion in 2025, or 69x. Tether claims 13 billion net profits 2024. 7 billion came from treasuries and repos. The other 5 billion came from unrealized gains from Bitcoin and gold holdings, which we don't include. We assume Tether grows USDT as a supply by adding another 50-60 billion of the USDT. An average USDT supply in 2025 is 170 billion, with an average Fed fund rate of 4.2%, implying 7.4 billion 2025. And the numbers are astronomical. Paolo added he is truly excited for the next phase of growth for our company. I would dare say the same. Tether's USDT ranks as the third largest crypto by market cap, valued at 154 billion. And they do have their headquarters in Bitcoin country. Shout out Bukele. Meanwhile, April 24th, it was announced Tether would become the majority owner of 21 Capital. I repeat, Tether have become the majority owner of 21 Capital, a new Bitcoin treasury company founded by all my Bitcoin ballers such as Strike's Jack Mallers. And despite the recent launch, 21 already become the world's third largest corporate holder. So upon launch, that's because they have the backing of Tether and Cantor Fitzgerald, multi-billion-dollar conglomerates. Tether moved a combined 37,229 Bitcoin, worth 3.9 billion, to addresses linked to the new Bitcoin native financial platform. And how many Bitcoin treasury companies have been birthed since MicroStrategy? There's quite a lot. I tend to be announcing them virtually every show, a new one. But anyways, that's the latest there, yo. Bitcoin swagger, baby. Shout out to the real boss man. Love the song. Shout out Chandy 10. Sup from El Zante, Bitcoin Beach, representing Julius 360 in the motherfucking building. Study the biddy. That's always my advice. First and foremost, if the people buy without the education, they'll definitely sell 100%. Tether in El Salvador. Woo, woo. Great words, Ricardo. Anyone got the Gemini Bitcoin credit card? Great question. Anyone rocking it? Let us know. I would dare say you earn Bitcoin rewards for spending it. I saw the Winklevoss twins promoting that at the conference. What up? What up? Darth Melda's number 2. The Oracle's number 1 today. It seems the community crown, I guess it resets every day, I'm assuming, which is pretty cool. A little competition in the chat today amongst the mods. Who's going to maintain the number 1, 2, 3 in the throne? We'll get Nippinator in the chat.
Your wallet got laser eyes.
Bitty climbs higher than a high rise. Laser eyes, not surprised.
I got that bitty drip, fiat doing backflips. We don't beg no banker, we just walk with that Bitcoin swag. Bitcoin swagger.
Laser eyes, baby. I got turned down by the Gemini credit card. I wonder, is it based on your credit score or something? Or why do you think they turn you down? Do they tell you, or is it just a mystery? It's like, oh, you don't qualify. I'm just curious. I got the card. We'll stack the biddy as purchase for my business. Awesome. So I'm assuming you earn Bitcoin rewards versus fiat. They pay you in sats. Is that the dealio with the card? I have the Gemini card for years. Oh, excellent. So you get the Bitcoin rewards. I can spam to stay number 1. Well, do whatever it takes, Melda. I'm just saying. Number 2 is just the first loser. Number 1 is all that matters. Always strive to be number 1, Melda, is all I'm saying. Yes, credit score the traditional way. Okay, so maybe they do like a soft credit check and some people are qualified, and then you get, how much can you get up to? Like, is it 5,000, 500? Does it all depend upon your credit score or what you request? I'm curious there as well. Obviously, I think all of us would say, give me the max credit limit and then just buy a bunch of fucking Bitcoin and then get Bitcoin rewards for buying Bitcoin. Is that the strategy? Denying. Ronan. Legally, they should have to give you some generic reason, code or something. Yes, every swipe you earn instantly. Well, swipe, wop. Stack it up. Well, that's a pretty good concept. I think that's the future of retail spending with Bitcoin, because you got to incentivize us Bitcoiners to ever want to depart with our sexy, shiny sats. The only way to do that is say, earn more sats just by using your card. And okay, we'll use the card and then we'll stack more sats to buy more sats. Simple. Makes sense. Now, what if Amazon were to do a similar play, like get the Amazon card, and instead of getting, because I use my Amazon card because I get, I don't know if it's 4% cash back or something, but it ends up being significant because I spend a lot on Amazon, and then every so months I have so many hundreds of dollars in free money that was earned by rewards. How cool would it be if we had an option on Amazon, instead of getting the USD fiat credit or points, we get it in Bitcoin, which is only going to continuously go up in purchasing power. That'd be pretty lit. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, if you're listening, instead of focusing energy on pretending your wife is going to space to deceive the masses with whatever sick satanic agenda you're pushing, for Christ's sake, just give us Bitcoin rewards on our Amazon card. Game on. Come on, Jeff. Get with the program, bro. It's a great card. 25,000. Good Lord. We're all going to buy the Bitcoin right now. I'll take 9 of them, please. 9 Gemini cards, Winklevoss twins. The only reason I applied for it is I thought I might try the Jack Mahler's approach, living off the biddy. I respect that. They're all coming. Every card will do this sooner than you think. I'm with you. Do it now, Visa, or get left behind. MasterCard, I know you're onto something because you have the 2 suns as the logo. You're trying to tell us something. Hidden in plain sight. Lizard folk, watch out. JV coming with the strike of all strikes, like the White Knight. Anyways, they're all coming. I agree with that. Sign of the times. The future's here. Stack the biddy. Put down the beer, Greg. Please. Can you be sober for one show on a Sunday? You know, Jack said that he uses a credit card to pay for all his daily expenses, and at the end of the month converts it to Bitcoin to fiat to pay. Yeah, I'm in a similar, not exactly the same, but I use my cards for my expenditures, and then at the end of the month, I do my best to pay off every card so that I don't have to pay any interest, and I can just earn the cash back rewards. So it's like free money. At the end of the day, it incentivizes you the cards. But if you don't pay them off, you get hit with the insane interest rates, which would make it not worthy to use the card in the first place. You know what I mean? No number visible on the card. Oh, wow. It's pretty slick then. I guess it's like a futuristic thing. I'm waiting. I actually still have a solid gold card that I got years back. I don't remember which exchange it was, but it's like a $10,000 card. It's solid gold. And it actually has like my name on it and the ability, if you keep your crypto in the exchange, you can spend it or something. But I just never decided to spend it or use it. And I think I have it like hidden somewhere. I don't know. But when I'll do a show and tell and share it with you guys, it's a solid gold ultimately debit card. It's pretty slick and it has the Bitcoin logo on it, and you can customize whatever logo you wanted on it. It's pretty gangster. When I got that card, Bitcoin was like less than $10,000. So the card was worth more than a Bitcoin at the time. Yeah, it's not done very well. I hadn't used the card. Word. But anyways, let's continue with the news. Again, welcome everyone joining the live stream. Next story, we're going to be discussing 120,000 target this June, which means this month, at least according to the analyst. Synonymous analyst Pentosh tells his followers on X, Bitcoin's weekly chart shows the Bitcoin demand is significantly outpacing supply, resulting to the higher prices. Supply shock, let's get it. And there's legitimately the least amount of Bitcoin available right now in the exchanges since we have witnessed since 2018, so in the past 7 years. The trader says he's seeing insatiable demand for Bitcoin from firms and traditional finance, leading him to believe the bullish continuation is on the table for the pretty little bitty. Quoting him here, demand is greater than supply. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Feel like we see around 120,000 per bitty. This month, no diddy. The analyst also shared he remained patient and have a long-term outlook on the king crypto. He says, every day, if there's billions of dollars flowing into the BTC, why is it not going up? My brother in Christ, zoom out. It is going to get there, just maybe not always at the speed you want. And he actually makes a great point there. And looking at the broader crypto market, he says a new bubble is forming in the space. Quoting him here. Looks like all of the money is going to be made in crypto companies doing IPOs at wild valuations. Deeper pockets, more liquidity, higher valuations. Another bubble is a brewing. Another bubble to chase. Meanwhile, Penn's bubble call comes after shares of stablecoin issuer Circle meteorically rose the first day of trading. Like I said, their IPO just went live. Circle debuted on the stock market on Thursday with an opening price of $69 per share. Is that a subliminal message, ladies? 69. A massive increase from the IPO value of 31 per share, I dare say. And there you have it. Bitty broskies and bitty baddies. What are your thoughts? 120. We do still have the 124 sexy cup and handle target on the weekly chart. Do you think the analyst is right? Next leg up this month, all-time high. Price discovery, holla at your boy. Let me know. I have an appointment in an hour, then the crack goes the beer can. The crack, a lack, crack, slap, the aluminum cans. What are we going to do about these aluminum cans? As a matter of fact, I have a low-level alarm sounding off in the beer locker. Rum run time. Word up. Also getting discounts if you spend your Bitcoin will be the future like cash payments used to be. It's also good to keep the Bitcoin fees for the miners. Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a miner. Peter Schiff. That's all I'm saying. What up, Silas? Welcome to the live stream. Try a stream. Happy Sunday fun day. Living a bitty dream, I dare say. Living a bitty dream. I liked it. Most on audio only. Crypto FPL. Well, I appreciate the support, brother. Not exactly sure I understand the comment, but nonetheless, thank you for tuning in. And again, welcome everyone joining us. We're up to close to 1,200 on the stream. 999 precisely on X. So the next repost will get us over the 1,000 threshold. So if you guys can repost the stream, if you haven't, I appreciate it. Thus far, we only got 11 reposts, and there's literally 1,120 people watching. So just FYI, hit the repost. It's free to do it. Let's get it. Shadao Raja. Yes, time for the new all-time high. I'll strike the gong to that. Bitty baddies. New all-time high in play. You guys ready for the next story? We'll get into it. 120 this month. Now we're talking. You're speaking my language. Nipinator indicator, I dare say. The headless nip. But yeah, one more sip of the Spindrift. We'll continue. Nipinator, a.k.a. the Lickinator. Hey now. But yeah, yo, next story. We're going to discuss Bitcoin family revamp security after the crypto crime wave, referencing the recent kidnappings of, influential crypto folks. So yeah, this guy, I guess they pronounce Diddy or Didi. I don't want to throw him under the bus and refer to him as Diddy. That would be disrespectful. So I'm just going to say Didi, and hopefully that's accurate. He overhauled his digital asset security setup following a wave of the violent attacks targeting crypto holders. And we have covered many of those stories here on the pod. The family, known for going all in on Bitcoin back in 2017, now hides portions of their private keys across 4 continents. It's starting to sound like Dragon Ball Z. You got to collect all the Dragon Balls to get the wish. In a CNBC interview, he said he now uses a hybrid approach instead of relying solely on hardware wallets. He shared on CNBC that the family has changed everything, quoting him here. Even if someone held me at gunpoint, I can't give them more than what's on my wallet or my phone. And that's not a lot. Exactly. The security overhaul comes amid the new wave of criminal activity, including kidnappings, extortion attempts aimed at crypto users. He said the threats forced them to rethink their security strategy. The family seed phrase is encrypted and split into 4 parts. He said it's stored using blockchain-based services and fireproof metal plates etched by hand. The plates are then hidden in physical locations worldwide, allowing the family to eliminate potential points of failure in their security system. Now, he also added a layer of personal encryption to further strengthen the setup by modifying some words of the seed phrase, making them unusable without the proper context. The family lives a nomadic lifestyle, traveling globally, promoting the biddy, and because of their increasing threat going on to crypto holders, he said the family no longer posts real-time updates about their location. Smart. Online, after receiving threats from individuals who track them using social media. Yeah, you got to move in silence. Satoshi figured it out a long time ago. He also said 65% of the family assets are now held in cold storage under the new security model. Their hot wallets for trading and expenses are protected through multi-signature protocols. A digital asset as the prices rise, so have incidents related to the crypto crime. In late 2024 and early this year, high-profile cases emerged in France, Pakistan, Australia, and Canada, linking violent crimes to crypto ownership. There's even a couple of assassinations here in Puerto Rico with some high, holding Bitcoin folks as well. And in January, gang members in the UK were convinced of kidnapping, torturing, extorting a crypto investor. Then February, 6 men kidnapped the family of 3 in Shah City, demanding the transfer of $15 million in crypto. And in March, a streamer became a victim of a home invasion, and allegedly there was police officers on the take involved. Shit's a mess, and we're seeing more and more of these crimes. South Korea, France, you name it. Now, I think it's potentially a smart move there. I don't want to get into the inner workings of separating your private keys like it's a Dragon Ball in different continents across the world. Obviously, if you don't know what you're doing, that could absolutely backfire. So here's the thing. Learn how to properly self-custody your Bitcoin and make moves smart. Do it in silence. With Bitcoin, remove your ego. You don't need to be bragging about how much Bitcoin you have. You don't need to be bragging about living the bitty high life, traveling around the world, letting people know your itineraries of where you're going to be at what time and such. You're just going to set yourself up for something awful, to happen at the end of the day. So stress extreme caution, because today you may say, you know what? I only have 0.1 Bitcoin, bro. It's only 10,000. Well, think about what it's going to be worth a decade from now. And that one single post of you bragging because your ego's on, full force. It's like, oh my God. People could trace you and be like, dude, I remember when he bought the 0.1 Bitcoin. That's now worth 10 million. I'm coming for him. Just saying. Be careful, guys. That's why it's not a bad idea to lose it all in a boating accident. Just saying. You have nothing to steal. Your life's no longer in danger. Sounds like a game of Risk to me. Yeah. I don't, like I said, I would not advise anyone use 4 continents to hide private keys. That's extremely risky on so many forefronts, but I'm not going to get into it right now. But if you guys want to talk deeper later, I'm not going to give anyone advice on how to properly self-custody your Bitcoin. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. You got to do the research and decide what's best for you and your family. Yeah, I mean, I just had a great idea for another JV show. Crypto ID news alerts. I don't get it. Crypto ID news alerts. What's the concept there? It's really nobody's business at all how much Bitcoin you own. It's between you and God. Exactamundo. Yeah, what's a crypto ID? I don't get it. And why is everyone laughing? Crypto tid? Crypto tid. I guess I don't get the word. Tid. Is it like a tit, but it's a tid? It's like a masculinity? A masculine booby? A crypto tid. So clue me in, please. Game of Risk. Dragon Ball Z. It sounded like the way he described it. I'm like, that guy must watch Dragon Ball, obviously. You gather the Dragon Balls, you make the wish. I made a treasure map. B marks the spot. I know, right? This is not financial advice. Or is it? Crypto tid. Bigfoot. Oh, is that what a tid is? Wait, is that what the term cryptid is? It's a Bigfoot. Interesting. I never heard of that word. Bingo, I've stopped telling people as much of anything about Bitcoin that I might have lost in the basement flooding. Yeah, and if you're using a real name in the chat and you've been here each and every day for the past 7 years, get an alias. You don't got to use your real name either. Just saying. Here's an idea. Measure twice and cut once. There, exactly. If you're smart, stack the biddy. Anyways, are you guys ready for our feature story of the day? Let me know. Shout out Frankie Calabro Jr. Great guy right there to follow. He says 100 agrees. Very smart man, by the way. Crypto Bub JV. This is what we were talking about on the show yesterday. Right on. Thank you for sharing, brother. I'll check that out. This is regarding the Gemini Earn card, I'm assuming. Gemini card. It's easy to use. Stack-free rewards. I appreciate the insights. I'm going to look further into that. Respect. But yeah, I'm just going to do a couple of more reposts here for you guys, and then we're going to kick off our feature story of the day and discuss how to stack a $100 million portfolio and then how to lose it in a boating accident as the kicker, as a bonus. The icing on the cake. They say you can't have your cake and eat it too. Bullshit! I'm going to show you exactly how to have the cake and eat it too. Mark my words. We ain't playing no games. That's why we got a Bitcoin swag.
Hey, yo!
I got that Bitcoin swagger. You got that Bitcoin swagger. We got that Bitcoin swagger.
Stacking sats, feeling bad, looking sharper than a dagger. QR flash, got cash in my code. Cold wallet, chiller than a Yeti in the snow.
Doing, cold storm for the rocket flame. Take up, lift off, so chill as we fire it up. Moon up, doing up, yup,
Dancing on inflation like it's 1984. Ain't no Fed chair telling me where to go.
Shout out Sergio, bitcoincaps.net. All the caps that I rock, my closet's filled with them. There must be 30 plus caps, and I'm not exaggerating. I get them from bitcoincaps.net, and you can too. Just hit you with a repost, Sergio. And yeah, it's my buddy Broski from El Salvador. We got to kick it earlier in the year when I was in Bitcoin country. Looking forward to the next Max and Stacy Invitational, and a reminder to get your Max and Stacy Invitational ticket before it's too late. The event will absolutely sell out. I guarantee that. I thought Bitcoin family was a story about us. 2.5 million Bitcoin price inbound. Now we're talking.
Haters talk smack, I just nod and stack. Flex that orange B like a royal flag. Taproot smooth, got a flex so pure. Even my memes got a network secure.
You hear that cha-ching? It's my bitty bling.
That sound money shaking up the game.
That sound money shaking up the game. Satoshi style, truth on the chain. Yeah, we got that timeless flame. You hear that cha-ching? It's my bitty bling. That sound money shaking up the game. Satoshi style, truth on the chain.
But anyways, let's dive into our feature story of the day. And I second that. The Bitcoin caps are fire. They are the best in the game. Great quality. The embroidery, complete next level, and they fit great. Couldn't recommend them enough. My real name is Satoshi Sakamoto. Holy shit. That's the name of the century. Ronin was born after the first cycle when he started studying Bitcoin for real and wasn't just screwing around with the alts. Protect your wealth, protect your family, and in the words of the Wu-Tang Clan, protect your neck, kid. Rest in peace to the old dirty bastard. I'm just saying. But anyways, yeah, let's dive into our feature story of the day. You guys ready? Mom Spaghetti. All right, fam. Now for our featured story of the day. The Giga Chad Michael Saylor was recently interviewed on Natalie Brunell's Coin Stories podcast, and Natalie asked him straight up, Michael, how can an individual, like a regular individual, get a 100x return? And Saylor broke down the roadmap for a regular pleb to stack $100 million worth of Bitcoin, and I transcribed it word for word, and I'm going to read it to you right now. So first and foremost, shout out Michael Saylor, shout out Natalie Brunell, and shout out to the Coin Stories podcast. Again, verbatim, I transcribed it myself. Here's what Michael said. I think the best way to get 100x returns as an individual would be keep your day job so you maximize the cash flow you generate by whatever your profession is. So that's right. Don't quit your day job. Keep the income coming. You're responsible on your expenditures. You have to think in the year 2045, which is 20 years out. I think a Bitcoin's worth 13 million, and that's conservative, by the way. So every Bitcoin you don't buy is really a $13 million cost, and that's a very profound concept. Let that one sink in. That Rari that you're going to buy is going to cost you like 6 Bitcoin, and so it's going to be a $100 million Rari if you look out 20 years. So you have to keep your job unless you're already insanely rich. Then don't splurge on the Rari. Buy the 6 Bitcoin instead. And with regard to leverage, the intelligent leverage for the individual is generally long-dated, mid-dated mortgage debt. So if I have any kind of property, such as a house, I would put a long mortgage on it, a 10-year, 15, or 20-year mortgage. And most commonly, is it not 30 years? But anyways, especially a conforming loan, and then roll it over into Bitcoin, because mortgage debt is not marked to market. It's against an asset which is fairly stable. Now, normally the interest rates are subsidized by a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac program or government program. So it's the cheapest form of permanent capital that someone could get. So I give you what you shouldn't do. You should not quit your job. You shouldn't splurge on sports cars you can't afford, and don't buy a yacht because it's insanely expensive, and don't pay off your mortgage. I repeat, don't pay off your mortgage. Don't get debt free. And again, this is transcribed word for word when Natalie asked him this question. I found it very profound. I want to give a shout out to Vivek as well for actually sharing the clip in which I transcribed. And I encourage you to watch the entire interview between Natalie and Michael. Be sure to check the show notes below the video in the description. And I want to know your thoughts on that. Do you agree with Michael Saylor that the regular individual can still get a 100x return by following that roadmap over the course of the next couple of decades by the year 2045? Do let me know. And also, let's pull this up. Max Kaiser recently tweeted, the time was 2020, the place, Miami Beach. A successful businessman looking at the 400 million melting ice cube on his balance sheet sees the orange light for the first time, and corporate finance is changed forever. Look at that face. And now the man's company is worth over $60 billion. Back in 2020, it was a melting ice cube of fiat capital in the bank, only worth $400 million. And he birthed all these other, corporate Bitcoin treasury plays. We call it the Saylor put. You got Meta Planet and all these other companies now, like 21, purely just adopting Bitcoin, following in the blueprint or the roadmap that he has laid out. And if it wasn't for Michael Saylor, we probably wouldn't have nowhere near near the institutional adoption we're experiencing in this cycle, nor would we have Trump signing the executive order for the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve and all that. So you got to give credit where credit is due. Also, shout out to Max Keiser. He recently announced he's running for president for the United States for the year 2028, and he created the Orange Pill Party. And here you can see, you can follow the Orange Pill Party, which I would recommend you do. Shout out Max Keiser, by the way. And let's check out some of the other more recent tweets in which he shared. There's a lot of stuff, of course, regarding El Salvador. You can see here from the Bitcoin office, which FYI is ran by Stacey Herbert. And if you didn't know, Max and Stacey are actually the Bitcoin advisors to President Bukele. Max points out here, Bitcoin is demonetizing real estate. I mean, couldn't agree more. This guy predicts real estate will crash sometime between 2026 and 2028 and explains 11 reasons why. Well, one of those reasons should be Bitcoin demonetizing it. Yeah, I mean, also Max did a fantastic post I reposted earlier. I'm not going to read it here. It's very long, but it's very good in regards to the rioting going on in Los Angeles, and then makes a great comparison to what Bukele did with El Salvador. Another interesting statistic, world leaders approving rating. Bukele is the highest in the world, the highest we've ever seen. 91% approval. Putin, 80%. I guess the Indian president, 76%. Malay, 58%. But I don't even know if Trump's on this list, is he? Donald Tusk? That's kind of hilarious. There is a president by the name of Donald Tusk. That's new to me. But I don't even see a U.S. president even on the list. So, just to show you. But anyways, you guys let me know your thoughts surrounding the Saylor prediction, and that you can still get 100x return by stacking the biddy and following in his advice. And I'll read your comments out loud. If a Rari costs 6 Bitcoin in 20 years, then Bitcoin will have disappointed. No, I think he's saying today. A Rari today is 6 Bitcoin. And in 20 years, that 6 Bitcoin is no longer the 600,000 you paid today, but ends up being 100 million. That was the logic behind what he was sharing. I watched that video. She is a fox. Can I get a go on strike for Natalie Brunell? Absolutely. Just do whatever you can responsibly to acquire fiat monopoly money and trade up for the biddy. This is the way, especially now in the beginning stages of mass adoption happening in real time. Well said, Ricardo. Kaiser will be labeled a Russian asset from the start, but the legacy media is a fading Orange Pill Party. That's right. We vote for ourselves. If you want yourself in office or NIP, vote the Orange Pill Party. Simple and plain. He was there above the Tusk. I know. Oh, was he there? You saying the Trumpster was above the Tusker? That's hilarious. We got Donald Tusk and Donald Trump. Interesting.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
We're going to continue with the uncensored version of the pod, exclusive on X and Rumble. So if you're on YouTube, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the fuck out of here. Head on over to the Rumble, rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net. See you there. Cool. YouTube stream should be ending any moment, and we'll continue with the uncensored version.